Monday here on Mike Drop Sports and the show Steel City Live. Appreciate you all for stopping through. Smash the shit out of that like button. What's up, TD? What's up, TJ? Big Stretch. What's up? How's everybody this fine Monday morning? Sorry, I was getting a cup of coffee, getting myself together here real quick. That's why I was like, I need 3 minutes. And sure as shit, I was 3 minutes. That's pretty sweet. I got the Baby Yoda mug. How about, guys? We're going to talk a little bit about this Hard Knocks thing. Like, how convenient was that for the NFL and for them to look at the AFC North and say, hey, let's make this schedule the way that it's going to fall. And let's go with AFC North, Hard Knocks with the AFC North. That's kind of crazy to me how that all transpired. And it's just another example of the NFL making that money, baby. That's all they do is churn and burn some cash. And this was a prime way to make that money. It was a prime way to set the AFC North up to beat, batter, and bruise each other in that final 6 games, which is going to be a really cool show. It's going to be an awesome show. It's going to be really interesting and really fun to see exactly how this all unfolds and see the race in depth, especially if your Pittsburgh Steelers are in that race, especially if they are vying for position, vying to win that division, and how interesting it is going to be able to see that inside look to see what exactly is going on during a divisional race like that. I do think it's an excellent show idea. I don't think it's very cool, though, to set this division up for almost failure in the playoffs, just the way I'm looking at it, because they are going to beat the shit out of each other, guys. And if this is any, just say if this would have been done in the Ben Roethlisberger era, whenever they were really beating the shit out of each other, inside of that AFC North, it just makes you wonder, are these teams just going to be so beat up by the end of this race that literally they're going to have early exits in the playoffs? Or does it make them really hardened? Does it sharpen them up to where they go into it and whichever team comes out and is there when the dust settles and they're going for this, AFC North title, whenever they get inside of the playoffs, is it going to be crazy to see them just come out and be so much better and more significant? We froze. We froze, guys. Hold on. If you can hear me, hold on. All right, guys. Hopefully we're back. Sorry if that froze. Okay. What's up, Sean? What's up, Jonathan? This will be the first Hard Knocks that I've ever watched. Me too, man. I don't watch much of them. I've watched bits and pieces. Yeah, we are on the Hard Knocks. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. Let me know your thoughts about this and what you're thinking. If it's, oh, felt like I had something bite me or something. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you're thinking, because I'm just wondering, who's coming out on top? Are you going to be beat up so bad that is just ridiculous? I just don't know, man. This is just making me wonder, like, what in the hell? How did the NFL just set this up like this and nobody even really paid attention, and boom, here we are, man, It's just kind of crazy. Oh, sorry, Sean. I did. Oh, I seen your message. Okay. Sleeping Lady says, I hate it. Seems like a setup for a failing or for a team. Yeah, we just gotta hope we are we gotta hope that we are the team on the rise. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the only thing you can hope for here, man. Absolutely. I think I should move over a little bit. Let me move my phone over a little bit. I feel like I get a little bit better reception if I'm over just a hair. We're going to get this worked out. I started working on the studio a little bit, so things are going to be better. Yeah, so let me know, though, what you guys are thinking about this. I do want to talk a little bit more, too, about this Cam stuff and that Browns bullshit. I didn't like that. I did a show on that earlier if you want to go back and watch that. I just don't understand why he even said that shit. It's kind of crazy. I don't understand it. He has to understand his value too. And he has to understand exactly what's going on here in terms of finances in this with this team, with the way that the league is structured, with the salary cap. He has to understand his value. He's trying to act. I understand he feels that he has that significant value. I get that. I get his leadership. I get the way he gets out there and attacks the line of scrimmage and really causes some disruption at some point. I get all that, Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Hold on. If it freezes again, hold on one second. I'm going to move things over. Don't believe. All right, guys, I'm back. That should work better now. There we go. And let me hit the do not disturb. Sorry for the technical issues, but we're getting there. We're getting it all straightened out. But anyway, let me get back to your comments. Jonathan, the Tomlin haters are going to find out real quick that he's the real deal on Hard Knocks, LOL. I think nobody doubts Mike Tomlin. I don't think you got Tomlin haters per se. I think they doubt some of his abilities, but I think everybody knows, and at least I would hope everybody knows that he does do well with the players. He has a significant relationship with them, and I hope everybody knows that, and I think we'll see that on display, no doubt, Jonathan. And I think people will be quick to see that, and I hope maybe it does change minds, but I still think that he lacks. He lacks the ability in game with his game management. I think that that's poor at times. But yeah, we'll get to see a little bit better look at Mike. Danny George, good evening. What's up? Sean says, I honestly feel like it's time to start looking elsewhere instead of signing a 35-year-old man that has been in the trenches for a long time. That's a lot of, yeah. And I don't think anybody can argue that, John, too. I mean, he has been beat up, man, and he does supply some good things. But you're right. It's a lot of wear and tear on his body in the trenches. And he has to understand, and I know he once paid like a top 5 defensive lineman, but at 35, name one guy that is in that age bracket, that 35-year-old age bracket, on the defensive line where he plays that is getting paid significant money. You can't name one. I mean, I know you can't. The highest salary you'll probably find is somebody making about $3 million, $2.75 million per season. And that's where his value probably is right now. Maybe a little bit higher. You can pay him a little bit because of loyalty. I get that. But hey, he's going to have to figure that out, no doubt. Thank you, Russ. Jonathan Stevens, he just lacks the offensive side. He's good, though. I love him as our coach. I think he's good. I mean, I think he's, top 6, top 7, probably top 5. I don't know. I've never really sat down and broke it down. But definitely in terms of player management and being with the players, he's probably the one, the best at that. He has significant relationships with them, and nobody can argue that, and that's a positive thing. No doubt about that. And that is something that he is king at, is getting people to run through wall for him. Let's just hope that the X's and O's, work out this year. And I like what you said there, Jonathan. He lacks the offense. Yes, in a big, big way. And he needs to also let Teryl Austin do his job as the defensive coordinator. I think Mike needs to take his thumb off just a little bit. He needs to allow Arthur Smith to do his job and function the way that he knows how. And don't try to micromanage anything. If you're Mike, be the guy. Be that figurehead. Be the guy that is the end-all, be-all, manages everything. I understand that. But don't micromanage things. Don't be in game trying to adjust things that you don't need to adjust. Allow your coordinators to do their job. And I think that he went outside. Getting Arthur Smith was a good thing. He went outside of the organization, didn't promote from within, didn't try that bullshit again. I think that was a positive step. But he has to understand game management, and that's not just saying he doesn't understand offense. He doesn't understand clock management. He doesn't understand challenges sometimes. At least I think he understands it. I just think he does things sometimes that are just a little bit screwy, that, in the heat of the moment. I think maybe after he looks back on it, he probably says to himself, oh shit, like I should have did this different or something. But yeah, he does lack those things, and it's hard to deny that he doesn't have those deficiencies. They're bad, and they got to be corrected this year. Just don't micromanage. Just let this team be this team. Don't try to make it something it's not. Don't try to force it in any way. Let it grow organically. I think that's the way we need to go. Hope you're doing well, Russ. I see you're talking to Sean about your thing. Prayers for you, buddy, still. I hope everything's going good. Jonathan Stephen, that's what Smith is brought in for, to help Tomlin with the offensive part. Yeah, definitely. No doubt Arthur Smith was brought in for that, and definitely there to be the leader on the offensive side of the football, but it runs far deeper. And, when you're the head coach, situational football isn't going to be helped by Terrell Austin, isn't going to be helped by Arthur Smith, isn't going to be able to be helped by anybody. Situational football is a Mike Tomlin thing, to where in those game moments, those big moments, he has to be able to guide the team in a correct way. You can't make any miscues with the clock. Not in the NFL. You got to set these things up perfectly. You got to really choreograph this and know what you're going to do in these situations. And I hope that it does. I hope maybe what it is if he's not micromanaging as much, maybe he does have the ability to be more involved with the situational parts of things, to where he's not worrying about, getting the offense to the sideline and the defense to the sideline to go over game plan bullshit, to where, like, schematic things, to where he's more concerned with the clock, with the timeouts, with the challenges, and really just being a general overseer of the ball club. That's just what I think that's more what I'm trying to say. Yeah, just take the thumb off a little. Just a little, man. Just don't micromanage. I think most managers do that. And it's not just a Mike Tomlin thing. I think it's most managers throughout life of anything, any job, any career field. Some managers feel the need to put their thumb on everything, to have their thumbprint on everything, and sometimes that backfires. What you're looking for is to have people that you can trust being your employees, and allow them to function and allow them to do their job without being I think people get upset with, especially I know I would in the hospital and things of that nature, when you feel like you got somebody looking over your shoulder, when you know your job and you know what you're supposed to do. You don't need that. And good managers allow their team, their team, work wherever, to do their thing. And when there's a big issue that comes up, that's when you intervene. That's when you go through and you make heads roll. That's how you do it. That's just my opinion. Let me get a drink. That coffee is lights out. I love it. Let's keep going. Armand against the Patriots with Mitch at QB. He goes for it on the Pats 13, 4th and 3 and stop. Then Pittsburgh gets a TD and 2-pointer. Pittsburgh loses by 3 this past season. Tomlin, a C+ coach, maybe B-. You just got to improve those things, man, like you're talking about. Situational football, man. And knowing your players, I think that's clutch too. Knowing your system, understanding what that system can do. So, yeah, definitely a lot. Assalamu alaikum. I can't never say that right. What's up, Ali? Armand, he blew that game. Yeah, he blew that game in more ways than one. When he came into that game with Mitchell Trubisky at the helm, I think he had already known that Mitchell was just failing, struggling. He wasn't working within that system. He wasn't able to get that offense rolling. And I think that the biggest miscue from Mike Tomlin last year with that Arizona game, with that Colts game, with the Patriots game, that stretch of games there where the Pittsburgh Steelers really buried what was a pretty decent season up until that point, really buried themselves into a hole and really required themselves some significant digging out. I think that Mike Tomlin right there, that was part of some of the things that I think he fails at roster management in terms of knowing when to bench players, when to give people a sit down, and say, hey, look, we're going to go a different direction. I think there's a problem. But you were working with Kenny Pickett. You were working with Mitchell Trubisky. I'm not sure what the situation was with Mason. I don't know. It's just hard to tell. And that's why I'm so interested in this Hard Knocks situation. Because you have Russ, you have Justin Fields now. It's going to be really interesting to see exactly how Mike Tomlin handles the quarterback situation, especially late in the year. Because if you really look at that schedule and you look at how this all sets up for the Pittsburgh Steelers and you take a look at that back half, how significant roster management, game management, situational football, how he rides maybe the hot hand at the time. You don't know what's going to happen. Does Russ get an injury? Justin's in there playing well. Does Mike sit him still? You never know. There's so many things that could come out and come into play here with this filming of the Hard Knocks with the AFC North. It's kind of crazy to me that this all happened, man. And when I seen this Hard Knocks thing come out, I just thought to myself, what a money grab by the NFL. And as if they don't grab enough money. I just don't know. I think I have a problem with it. I'm interested in seeing the show because I think it'll be cool. And I think it would be very interesting, and I think the dynamic is really cool. The last 6 weeks of the season, this AFC North division is going to go to absolute war. It's going to be crazy. You're probably going to see some of the best football that you've probably ever seen. I really, truly believe that. The cameras will be on. Everything will be at stake. What happens if the Steelers roll into that back half, really those first 9 games? What if they come out of those first 9 games 6-3? They come into the back half of that schedule after that bye week in week 10, and they come in there, and there's so much on the line. Is Mike Tomlin going to be able to get that team going, I'm really intrigued to see it, but I think it is a real setup, guys. I really do. And I think it's all about the dollar. That's the setup. That was the whole thing. It isn't about they want certain teams to lose or certain teams to win. It ain't nothing about that. Nothing. It's they know the AFC North is a highly, highly competitive division, one of the best in the NFL. It has 4 teams in there that could potentially be playoff contenders. And they know damn well that if they pit them against each other in the back half of the season and they film a show on it, it is going to have crazy ratings. It is going to be a major hit, and they are going to absolutely cash in. Can I blame them business-wise? No. But man, is it just putting a lot on these AFC North teams, especially your Pittsburgh Steelers, with the way their schedule sets up when you're sprinkling a little Kansas City on top, a little bit of Philly on top. Yeah, I think that it puts a lot on this Pittsburgh Steelers team. I don't want to show them shit ever. Hold on one second. Tomlin is an idiot. That was the situation with Mason. That's from Mark Malone. Mark always got good shit. Jonathan, I don't want to show them shit ever. I'm not watching it. That's from Armand. I got to watch it because my boys are in it. My team's in it. Sean says Hard Knocks may be a distraction while the Steelers are trying to get back on track. These young guys need to focus on craft, not cameras. Yeah, Sean, that brings up another good point when you say that. You get certain personalities that are diva-ish, and I don't know who those divas will be this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but you'll have them. Every team has them. And when the lights are on and the cameras are on and they're on you all the time, are you going to come out of character? Are you going to act different for the camera? Are you not going to be original, authentic? Are you going to put on a freaking show? I don't want to see a show. I want to see things done the right way. I want to see it being authentic. And Sean is right. You need these younger dudes, especially the younger guys, to work on their craft. But there's some veteran guys, too, that, may act a fool, do some stupid shit just because the camera's there. That is a possibility. Jonathan said it'll be interesting watch. I think so. TD, what other division could have gotten it first instead of the AFC North? I don't know, TD. It just seemed with the schedule release and the Pittsburgh Steelers, literally that back half of the season, week 10 and beyond, those final 8 weeks, the Pittsburgh Steelers literally play straight divisional games, all 6 divisional games with a little KC and a little Philly sprinkled on top. Now that's a tough go. That's a tough ask, and it's kind of crazy. Hey, what's up, Abe? Steelers need Pickett back. Shit me. I'd rather forfeit the season than have a guy with no intestinal fortitude back on the roster. I just don't even want to see it. Jonathan Stevens, between our schedule and Hard Knocks, I don't know. Yeah. Guys, think about this season and everything that is now involved in this season. Hard Knocks. Probably one of the historically hardest schedules in terms of strength of schedule that, has been out there in quite some time, probably. It's the AFC North. You're going into this year with 2 quarterbacks on 1-year deals. One that was a failed experiment after a high draft pick was spent by the Chicago Bears. Another, a Super Bowl winning quarterback that was traded to the Denver Broncos to be the savior, the franchise guy. Failed. Wasn't able to get it done. The Broncos failed. But now they both find their way into the city of Pittsburgh to where they're going to play for one of the, the coaches that are the highest praised for their ability to be a player's coach, for their ability to, motivate players, So you find yourself also in a town of an historic, high historical magnitude, big time, 6 Super Bowl championships. Then you couple that, with this TV bullshit, all that stuff. Then you're playing the Super Bowl champions on Christmas Day. You're playing all these weird games to where you have little to no rest at an NFL level. Then you look at what they've been able to do along the offensive line. So many young faces, so many new people. Then you have in the backfield Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, guys that are looking to make some money. Then you look at this wide receiving core lacking a number 2 target, at least on paper right now as we sit. There are so many interesting storylines involving the Pittsburgh Steelers right now that it makes you look at this season and say to yourself, that is going to be an extremely difficult test. And I would have to stand up. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to be super competitive, super successful, and you find yourself, in the divisional round, the AFC Championship game, you find yourself tuning in on those games, and you see your Pittsburgh Steelers playing in them. I will say this, that I believe it'll probably be one of the greatest coaching jobs that would ever be done, and one of the greatest performances ever by a team. And it'll go down in history as probably one of the best seasons that you've ever seen a team have. I'm telling you, just with the amount of variables that are stacked against them this season, for them to be successful and find themselves in a favorable situation come the end of the year, maybe, Kansas City beats the Steelers on Christmas Day, but the Steelers find themselves in Kansas City for the AFC Championship game. Maybe that's how it plays out. And you have a guy in Russell Wilson that will be 36 years old at that time, playing for his football career. Or you have Justin Fields out there playing for his next football or his next chapter of his professional career to go get that payday. What an interesting watch, guys. And your Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, they have had some historical wins, some magical moments in NFL history. But I think this season could provide some new moments that we all talk about for a lifetime. I really, really think that. Let's keep going. Privacy for players. It's going to be Mike Tomlin's show for NFL money. Privacy of players violated. I don't know how that all works. I don't know. They maybe have to sign disclosures and shit. I don't know. Abe says the Steelers have the most divas. Name three, Abe. Name three. Andrew Fio. It's Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati on it. Yep. Everybody's on it, but the Pittsburgh Steelers I'm just naming because this is the Steelers podcast, baby. You know, we're giving it up for the Steelers. We got to talk about them. But yeah, they're all on it. It's the AFC North. Hard Knocks with the AFC North. AJ Lindsay, think about it. The NFL is a tougher job than we think. The Steelers season starts now from mandatory minicamp all the way next year. Steelers have a long road ahead, and we will see if they are ready. AJ, I like what you said there in your comment. The season starts now. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers, after mandatory minicamps now, have went through OTAs, if at the beginning of OTAs, Mike Tomlin didn't stand in front of them and make that statement that AJ just said in his comment, the season starts now. The difficult road starts now. If he didn't say that, you know, I think he was foolish because I think you should have said that in front of that team. You should have got up there and said, look, this is the list, guys. The odds are stacked against us, and the shit starts now. The road starts now. The pressure's on now. Make it a playoff atmosphere now. Let's go. Get this team fired up in a big, big way, man. I think that's exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers need and what they gotta look for. They gotta have that mentality this season, all off season. For when they get to Latrobe, it's got to be no bullshit. Abe says Tomlin has been ineffective since he lost number 7. Reminds me a lot of the New England situation with Brady. No, because Mike's had Ben. Yeah, I don't see that because he's still been able to maintain a winning record. So we'll give him that. So I wouldn't say that it's, you know, similar because Bill was kind of just falling off there. That team's been a disaster since the loss of Tom Brady. So I'm not sure, you know, if I'd say it's similar or not. But yeah, I can see your point. Andrew Fio, the last 2 drafts will pay off big this year. I think so. And I think the young talent has to. And I don't think, Andrew, it's a matter of, you know, us hoping for it. It's a have to. It has to happen. The young talent that the Pittsburgh Steelers have picked up in the 2023-2024 draft, they have to contribute big this season. They have to be able to really, really add exciting depth. Quality depth. They have to be able to really play significant roles. I think there's going to be a couple players on defense that really need to have a big year this year, some new additions. I think Patrick Queen's got to really shine. I think the addition of Peyton Wilson through the draft has to pay off big because I really have high hopes for him. I think Nick Herbig has to see some significant increases in role in his ability to be on the field. I think Joey Porter Jr. needs to continue to shine and continue to portray that image of that number 1 guy to where people don't want to go toward him. People don't want to test the waters with Joey Porter Jr. I think that's going to be significant. And I think Cameron Hayward is going to be a real key cog. And I know that we were just talking about him, but look at the scarcity of depth along that defensive front. I think Keanu Benton, I think Cam Hayward, those guys are really going to be pivotal because I think the rest of this defense is pretty complete. I think with the addition of Cam Sutton, I really think the Pittsburgh Steelers have a quality cornerback room right now. Dante Jackson, acquired in the trade, I think he will play a good role. I think Cam Sutton will play a significant role. When he is allowed. I don't know how that all works, but I think he will. I think also you're going to see some big things, hopefully with barring any injuries, of Corey Trice, Darius Rush, those guys. I think Beanie Bishop has the potential to do something special as an undrafted rookie free agent. So, yes, there are many variables. I do like Deshaun Elliott in that back end. I think that's going to really help Minkah Fitzpatrick's play to where you're going to see Minkah return to his all-pro status. I really, really think that he is going to be one of the offseason's biggest acquisitions. Deshaun Elliott, I think that to be true. This wide receiver room's got to come out and play. There's a lot of things out there, but this defense I definitely think is going to be pretty decent. Who is your least favorite NFL team? Oh, man. I don't know. I hate anybody in the AFC North, so we could just say all three of the other AFC North teams. We'll rank them equally. Pickens, Russ, and Najee. You can't say Russ is a diva. You can't even say Najee. Pickens, I'll give you a, but you can't say the other two because they've never done anything to show that they're a diva. I mean, I can't think of any examples, and I watched the shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll give you Pickens. Pickens has given some examples, but Russ and Najee, I don't know, man. I've never seen them be diva-like. TD, there are so many storylines in the AFC North. It was a no-brainer for the NFL. Yeah, they're going to make a fistful of dollars, baby. They are going to crush the ratings. This should be one of the most significant editions of Hard Knocks that they've ever had. Probably the best, I would say. The real one. Can I come on as a guest speaker, please? The guest speaker. I don't know, man. Email me. MikeDropSports@yahoo.com. Sleeping Lady. Patriots. Russ says, I agree with Sean. Hard Knocks will be a distraction. Don't like it. It probably is going to be. It definitely probably is. Sean says Abe just says random stuff that cannot ever be taken seriously. Yeah, yes, Abe. Yes, I know, buddy. Me too, Russ. I really think Deshaun Elliott is going to prove to be a big, big acquisition. And I gotta say, Jackson, Dante Jackson, I really think that he can fit and play a quality role here. I really do. I've watched his speed. I really like him. I think he's going to fit. Now, does he fit everywhere in the NFL? Would he be able to go to every team and succeed? I don't think so. But I think the scheme, I think the way that they'll use him, I think it'll definitely fit. I definitely think if you're talking X's and O's and you look at Dante Jackson, I definitely think it makes sense. And I think Omar Khan, Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin, Andy Weidel, when they were bumping their heads together and discussing the trade to Carolina, I think that Dante Jackson was a big topic of conversation, and they looked at him as a whole, looked at his body of work, and they weighed it against their scheme, and I think they found somebody that's going to be a true fit. Abe, win 4 games this year. I think that's highly doubtful. Abe, I just think Russ has more than that. He threw 20-some touchdown passes. He was 2 less than the NFL MVP on offense. So, I mean, what more do you want? I don't know. He threw a bunch of touchdown passes. So I don't think 4 wins is reasonable. Even if Russ gets injured, I still think you get a spark from a Justin Fields. I know Justin has significant deficiencies. Maybe he works those out over the summer. But I think you would still get like a spark to where they would definitely get over 4 wins. Even at the worst, I see this team maybe being a 6-win team. That's at the absolute worst. That's if all things take a giant wrong turn. I think that would be their rock bottom seller, to be honest with you, would be 6 wins. I have this team in my early predictions going 11-6. I think that's actually a fair assessment right now as it sits. I have to see how training camp goes, and then I'll give my prediction on what I think this team will be able to do. But I definitely have to start to see them in a little bit of preseason games, start to see some of this scheme shake out a little bit, watch some camp practices, listen to the vibe. That's a big one. Listening to that locker room speak. I know guys kind of listen to interviews, but really listen. You catch a vibe out of them. Those interviews. You kind of get a feeling of that locker room. And I know that to be true. And I know there's a lot of dumbass questions that are asked. If I have to hear this stupid shit one more time of Minka Ball, hey guys, Coach Tomlin, what do you think? Minka said he wants to get back to playing Minka ball. If I have to hear Brooke Pryor say that one more time in her questions, I might rip my eyelids off. Like literally, I don't know why it's being repeated over and over and over again. And I like her work. I really do, but she's got to quit repeating that every press conference. Minka ball should not be said over and over and over and over and over. It sounds dumb. Nobody cares. It's just getting old. Point proven. Thank you, Abe. Your signal cut out 10 times in 15 minutes. Weather here, clear skies, FYI. No, I got bad internet right now, Armand. Sorry, buddy. Bad internet. I'm doing my best. I'm working with it. I'm gonna move everything up to my spare room here, and that's where I'll be here from now on. This will be our last show down here. Hit the like button, people. Absolutely. Please hit that like button. I know we are having some tech issues here and there, but definitely bear with us a little bit. Let me slide over a little bit more to the stairs, guys. Sometimes if I move and adjust slightly over, it's a little bit better. So definitely, there we go. All right, that might be better for us, guys. Spiker Fields has a cannon. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the black and gold. They both have big arms. So, yes, that is something to definitely look forward to. No doubt about it, Spiker. It's coming in smooth for you. But we're going upstairs, though, next time, guys. I definitely am going to get closer to the router. But I plan on getting the mesh system, too, so... Abe says, I think it's hilarious. The Steelers fans think Russ is still good. He doesn't have to be some stellar thing. That's the thing. Jalen Hurts would be the greatest player in Steelers history. Nah, probably not. But anyway, you're talking about a franchise that has basically a whole wing of the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, dedicated to their players. So it'd be pretty hard to become the Steelers' greatest player in their history. Just saying, proof's in the pudding, Abe. Proof's in the pudding. But anyway, when you're talking about you think it's hilarious that people think Russ is good, I think he is. I think he's still good. He's a game manager. The Steelers don't need Russ to be a superstar. That is the misconception of the fantasy football-driven fan base of the NFL. People that just look at stats think they can, dictate and predict what's going to happen in a season just off of statistics. There's a lot of other variables at play here, and you got to look at scheme. You got to look at their physicality, the way that they've presented themselves of this offseason in terms of working out, working, how that's all going. How are they being received by their teammates? How is everything just coming together? Also, the scheme. That's the biggest thing. How are they going to use Russ? Are they going to use him to run the football every damn snap? No. Or are they going to use him to throw deep balls every damn snap? No. They are going to mix it up and allow him to pick and choose his spots. Russell also has a lot of years in the NFL, and I think that that's going to prove to be big too, because the intellect, this up here, being able to check in and out of calls or plays, being able to dissect the defense at the line of scrimmage. That's where Russ has to shine now at this stage of his career. It's not all about being as athletic as, a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson, a Jalen Hurts, a Josh Allen. It's not about that for Russ right now. It's about the intellect and about beating people intellectually and in the chess match, He's got to be able to get up to that line of scrimmage and really identify that defense and get his team, get his offense into the correct play, the correct selection. That's definitely going to be the biggest key, I think. Russ is a massive upgrade over Kenny. I don't care what anyone says. I agree with you, Spiker. Russ is a massive upgrade over Kenny. Kenny was winning because of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Kenny was winning. Yeah, I would say a lot of that was the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I'm trying to sit here and think like how much credit I can give Kenny. Yes, there's some great plays that he made. That throw to Najee in the end zone in Baltimore. The throw to GP against the Raiders. But I just don't think he was ever able to be consistent. I don't think that he was ever able to be calm and settled. His happy feet, his inability to push the ball down the field, his constant 3-and-outs were hurting this football team. And they may have been okay and had a winning record in the regular season, but you can't play playoff football the way he was playing. You wouldn't win. You'd be out first round. I know they did. They were out in the first round, but it would have been a guaranteed out first round. Kenny he wasn't playing a winning formula, in my opinion, with the 3-and-outs, the check downs, the inability to push the ball down the field, his unwillingness to take chances, his happy feet. There were so many things that I could just sit here on and on and on and on that he didn't do well. Jonathan Stevens, Russ is still good, but Fields will be our future after getting mentored by Russ. Just watch. I think what's going to happen, though, you got to sign somebody. You know what I'm saying, guys? That's the biggest thing. You got two guys on one-year deals. If both of them have great seasons, say Russ comes out, plays really, really well, but it gets injured. Justin comes in, plays really, really well. They're still both on this one-year deal. There's two teams out there that offer them the most money that, could be offered to them, and they roll. I mean, that could very easily happen. G Stacks, why people disrespect Russell Wilson but praise Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Kirk Cousins have never won a Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins doesn't win in the playoffs very often. And yeah, Russ has won a Super Bowl, lost a Super Bowl. Significantly better in the playoffs, no doubt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't praise Kirk Cousins. I think that was a massive mistake with both quarterbacks that the Atlanta Falcons got over this offseason. The one in the draft and the one that they picked up for $100 million guaranteed. I think they were both massive mistakes, especially Kirk Cousins at that salary. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be not very good. I just don't think so. I don't think he's built for the NFL. I don't think that he'll fit inside of that Atlanta system. I just don't think that it's going to work out. Sadly, I don't want to see anybody fail, guys. I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but still, I just don't think that it's going to work out down there. I'm sure you need a good quarterback to win a Super Bowl, not Russ. No, you need a game manager. You don't have to have a superstar quarterback. You need somebody that manages games. And that's what makes superstar quarterbacks. All quarterbacks usually are just good game managers. That's what you're looking for. He doesn't need to be a superstar, man. Yes, you need a quarterback that's good. Yeah, you're not going to win a Super Bowl without a good quarterback. But you can win one with a guy like Russ. He just has to be serviceable. He just has to be steady. He has to be a veteran, and he has to be smart. You can definitely win a Super Bowl with Russ, especially with the defense I think this team will have. Do you think Hines Ward should be in the Hall of Fame? I say yes. I think Hines Ward definitely should be in the Hall of Fame, and the reason I say that, Andrew, is because Hines Ward transitioned the position. He changed the position. The NFL tailored rules around what Hines Ward did special. And I think that means something. I think that the Hall of Fame has become a little bit of a laughingstock to me in some aspects because I think there's too many people that get in each year. I think they're just filling a quota each year. I think when you're looking at Hall of Fame guys, I think what makes the difference for me when I'm voting for those guys, or, if I were to be voting for those guys, if I had to make the selection, would be, did the game change because that person was in it? Did the game become different because of this player? And the answer for Hines Ward is yes. Statistically, he may not be, yardage-wise, that Hall of Fame, line number. He might not meet that statistical check mark. He might not check that box. But if you look at Hines Ward and you look what he was able to do and you look how the NFL changed because of Hines Ward and how he played the game and the passion he played the football or the game of football with, the answer is absolutely 1,000% yes, and that would be a yes even if I wasn't a Steeler fan. Danny George 100, I think so. Nick reminds me of when the Bucks won Super Bowl with Brad Johnson, whoever at quarterback. He was so subpar, but subpar can be good enough with a nice defense and a run game. Russ still has some dog in him. Exactly, Nick. There's different There's just not one clear path to winning the Super Bowl. There's not one clear path to being successful. You can win with several different formulas, and I know the NFL's changed, and I understand that it is a high flying, tailored game to the offense. Man, we get it. The rules are tailored to the offense, but I still think there's still several different ways that you can win. I don't think that you can just win with just good defense. You still have to have some offensive play. But I definitely think there's still some other ways to win. It just doesn't have to be we light it up for 50 a game. Our defense can hold them to like 24 points. Yeah, I think there's other ways. I think you can win a lot of 24-21 football games. I think you can win a lot of 17-14 football games and march through the playoffs. I still think that. Nick Foles beat Tom Brady for a ring. Yeah, Nick Foles and shitty Eli Manning, dude. Everybody pumps Eli Manning up, but he owned Tommy. Tommy terrific. Two times. Yeah. Karav Patel, as a Bears fan, I hope Russ is good because Fields stinks. Yeah, I do too. I do think Justin has a lot of deficiencies, man. But you guys over in Bears Nation, man, you guys definitely didn't give him any type of tools. We'll say that. But the fumbles are on him. The inability to dissect and really be able to read those defenses and throw receivers open, really be able to process the game, that's on Justin. The happy feet, that's on Justin. The interceptions, that's on Justin. But yeah, he has some major deficiencies that hopefully he'll be able to be mentored and get some of those things fixed up this offseason. Andrew Hill. Yes, Sean. Russ would have 2 rings if they would have let Beast Mode run the damn ball in the goal line. Yeah, that was the biggest coaching flop that I have ever seen in Super Bowl history, in my opinion. When you have a guy like Marshawn Lynch in the backfield and you throw the damn football on the one, dude, that's just stupid. Stupid. You simply outsmarted yourself there. Hand the damn ball to Marshawn Lynch. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Oh, well, then I guess it ain't meant to be. But I can guarantee you this. Marshawn Lynch, if I need 1 yard and I had to pick between handing it or throwing it, and I was handing the ball to beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, I'm going to bet every time that I on Marshawn to get that yard. I would take that bet every day, all day. I thought that was going to happen. I'm like, well, the Seahawks did it. They're about to get another ship. Russ, number 2. Boom, no. What's up, D? I didn't see Miss Pittsburgh tonight, D. I don't know where Miss Pittsburgh is. We just need Russ to be leader, game manager, Najee, and Warren going to be a key to this offseason. Russ will hit checkdowns and some long balls. Yeah, Russ, though, cannot. Here's one thing, Russ. Russ talking about Russ. That's funny. But anyway, Russ, though, one thing I know Russ can't do, and that is become obsessed with checking the damn ball down. He can't do that. He has to learn how to mix it up, and he has to utilize that tight end group. He has to learn to utilize from the edges in. He can't limit himself. He really has to have a heavy priority this offseason on focusing on not relying on the check down. The check down is designed to be an absolute last resort. Unless you're throwing a screen pass, a designed screen, the check down is something you don't never want to use unless you absolutely have to. And I think Russ, and it was a problem last year with Kenny and Mitch. I thought they hit the check down way too damn much. And I think that sometimes that's a processing issue. So hopefully Russ definitely doesn't do that this year. I hope he learns how to spread it around a little bit and not become reliant on that damn check down, man. That scares me. Dawson. Are you a little person? Hold on, let me get rid of him. Goodbye. Brandon Reed. Russ was a Super Bowl winning quarterback with the Legion of Boom. This will be the first time he has a defense near that caliber since. Yeah, definitely so. True statement. No doubt, Brandon. The real one. We need another wide out. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in 1 second. Armon, the QB was ex Seahawk too, thanks to youthful cheating Pete Carroll on Russ pick when was all. No, it was on Russ too, but it was a bad play call and should have just never happened. Should have never happened. Let me get a drink, guys. Let's hit the shit out of that like button. Look at a different winning Super Bowl in Foles. Yeah, Foles did beat up on old Tommy. They won that. When we're talking about that wide receiver too, that Brandon Ayuk thing's looking really weird. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I've been thinking about this, guys. And I know that I've had my questions and concerns with it, but I gotta say, the Pittsburgh Steelers, when you really think about this and you look at how much cap space they're going to have next year, it's going to be almost $80 million, like $78 million they're going to have next year in available cap space. Right now, you have about $16 million. Brandon Ayuk is owed $14 million right now. If you want to go ahead and do that deal and you want to make a trade package for Brandon Ayuk, you can afford to pay both. You can afford to pay a George Pickens if need be, and you can afford to pay Brandon Ayuk. Now, that's not having a significant quarterback salary. I understand that. But I think you can get it done and still pay a quarterback, but you got to be creative. Philadelphia did it. They've paid, what was that? A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, I think. They pay them both significant money, and Jalen Hurts makes a monster amount of money also. Around the $50 million mark, I believe. So you look at them, and they are still able to do that. So I think it can be done. I really do. And what this would do for the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense, I think would really be something special because it would be more of a you're damned if you do and damned if you don't if you're the defenders playing the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense. And I think it would give Russell Wilson so many weapons, man. It would instantly make this offense way better. I got to say this because if you look at Ayuk and you look at George Pickens, say you double George, then that leaves Brandon Ayuk one-on-one. And you're going to love that. You double Ayuk, then you got George Pickens one-on-one. You got to love that matchup. What if you commit a lot of resources to both of those guys and you're in a 3 wide receiver set? And you got a guy, say, like Calvin Austin that has significant speed. And you have a quarterback with a big arm, Justin, Russ, that can throw that deep ball. I think that it would really be difficult to defend. I really, really think that. And I think if you add a Brandon Ayuk, somebody of that caliber to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, and you have in what we really all think is going to be a top 5 defense, I think you have a real recipe for some significant success, man. And I think that they would really be hard to defend. And I know that it doesn't make sense maybe financially long term if you're looking at the whole big picture. But in terms of cap space, they do have the money. They will have the money. So say the 49ers are offering $26 million. It's got to be a sign and trade. If you get Brandon Ayuk, you gotta sign him instantly. Okay? Offer him 27 and a half. That's more than 26. If he wants to keep it, keep it. If not, you have one good year and let's roll with it, and you're paying him $14 million. And maybe you can go out there and get the 49ers to pay half of that if you do something decent in terms of draft pick when you trade for him. So who knows? Yeah, I don't consider what I consider checkdowns, Russ, is like, they're dropping back and they're just checking it down to the side, I don't really consider like a 5-yard turn, come back real quick on a tight end or something like that, a check down, or a quick out. I don't consider that a check down or something, more like a screen than anything. What I'm talking about is, though, you're in the pistol or something and you're back there and you're happy feeting it so much, and before you really let anything progress, You dump it down to the running back. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't want to see that over and over and over, you know? That's what would bother me a great deal. Man, my ass is hurting. We're not getting Ayuk. I don't know. Things are interesting. I still think there is a trade. Now, I don't know if it is Ayuk. I don't know. But I still think that there is something that will happen. You will see some news, guys. I can guarantee that. I would bet. I would heavily bet on that. I'm so done hearing about Ayuk. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be so done yet. I don't know. I think there's something. I don't know if it'll be him. But if you look at this, guys, I'm telling you, if you got another big name target, how crazy would that be for your offense? It doesn't even have to be Ayuk. I'm just using him as an example. But if you got another target that would require the attention that George Pickens requires, tell me that your offense doesn't take a 180, whatever that may be, whatever player that may be. Nick Kephart, what's up with Calvin Austin? I swear he'd go off if they used him as a wide receiver 2/slot. Calvin, I think, has potential, and he's been, talked about this whole offseason as somebody that's working extremely hard, somebody that's out there busting his ass. So I'm hoping that he sees the reps. That's where I think I worry about him. Yes, I want to see him be used and let him, earn his money, man, earn his keep, and allow him to shine. That's what I'm looking for with Calvin. And fingers crossed. I think he's a solid dude, man. Solid dude. So good luck to him, man. I hope he does succeed. I definitely think that he could be successful. He definitely has some skills. Rob, this is how you act when you have too much time on your hands. Dude is like 50. Who are you talking about? I'm not 50. Robert Sterling. Let's all remember Robert Sterling. What a turd. Hold on. We'll leave his comment in there. I won't mess with you. Taxes 20% more than PA in Frisco. Huge factor. Yeah, taxes are a factor. Armand, you do bring up a big thing. There was lots of players that, that's how they determine what team they're going to. The lowest tax bracket that they could get into. That's definitely a factor, I'm sure. 49ers want a number one for Ayuk. I don't know what they want. I don't know if anybody knows, to be honest, Jeff. Probably just all rumors. But as an example, again, guys, if you have somebody that requires attention, it doesn't have to be Ayuk. It doesn't have to be anybody in particular. But if you have somebody that requires the attention, man, does it make your offense super lethal, man. Super lethal. All right, guys, we're almost to the hour. So make sure you put your comments, questions, and concerns here in for the final little bit of time that we got together. Make sure you're hitting that like button for us here on our daily live stream, only on Mic Drop Sports. I truly appreciate it as we are here live every day, talking football, talking Steelers. So make sure you join us. Hit the subscribe button also, so as we continue to march forward to our 5,000 subscriber goal here. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, buddy. Robert Sterling. I still am like, man, I look good for my age, bro. Don't hate. Don't hate. You're probably some fat dude sitting in your mother's basement, eating Twinkies or some shit. We drafted so well we can give first pick $28 million for Ayuk. Hey, whatever works, Russ. I'm down. I don't even care. I just want to be all in, guys, for this season because honestly, with all the variables that we talked about at the beginning of the game or at the beginning of the show, I want to go all in. I want to be, if we're going to be on this Hard Knock shit and we're going to be on this HBO show, I want to be all in, going crazy. I just want it to be just awesome. I want to have every opportunity to shut all these dumbasses up out there that just hate on success, The Pittsburgh Steelers historically, 6 Super Bowl championships, so many winning seasons, so many appearances in the playoffs, so many significant moments in NFL history. And it's hated on. You get hate. You get called spoiled. You get called all this shit as a Steelers fan. but it's okay. It's all out of hate. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to put on the best show possible. I want it to be, just top shelf, man. I want to have every opportunity. Wow, that hour went fast. Great show and content. Thank you. Thank you, Big Stretch. I appreciate that. I feel like I am starting to look a little bit older, but damn, I don't look 50. Fuck no, bro. Guys, all these people, only 16 likes. Please hit that like button. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, this off season, we were humming here, man. With the live show, we was gaining 50 subscribers a night and shit like that. We'd get up almost to 100. Now that we're in this dead spot where everybody's like on vacation, doing their summer shit, this is the true dead period. So, yeah, this is for the diehards, man. No doubt about it. Things will pick back up as we inch toward the season, and all the fair weather fans hop back out and put on their Steeler jerseys. We'll get all those people back. But yeah, this is for the diehards, man. The diehards are only talking football in June. June 17th. Yeah, only the real ones are. Big Stretch, Hard Knocks is going to be nuts. People have asked how we weren't on it before, because I think Big Stretch, how it was before, is you got to be like the worst record in the NFL, then you got to be on Hard Knocks. I think that's how that worked, and the Steelers have never ever been in that boat. So I think that's how it worked. I don't know if they've changed the parameters. I haven't watched it though that much. I've watched a couple seasons to where I've got into it. I think one had the Rams on it that I enjoyed. It was pretty cool. I think the Lions one I watched, that was pretty cool. I thought the Cowboys one was stupid. I think they were on it. Yeah, I've watched it a couple seasons, but not very often. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Also, Mr. Neats, make sure you email me. You were the winner of the raffle. Oh, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it, buddy. You were the winner of the raffle for the Mic Drop Mafia for the month of June, so make sure you email me. I'll announce it a few more times and try to get a hold of you here. Then we'll decide what to do after that. But thank you, guys. I appreciate it. As always, if you want to be involved in those giveaways, prizes, cash, everything, different assortment of different things in our giveaway each month, become a Mic Drop Mafia member for 99 cents a month, so you can get on there and become part of those giveaways and get yourself a chance. So until tomorrow, guys, I'm Jason. This is Steel City Live, only on Mic Drop Sports. Peace. Thanks, guys.